Here.
Yep. Just getting all my stuff rolling. There we go.
I'll play my intro music.
Do your thing. All right, I think I got everything set up good.
There we go.
All right, no more echo, no more technical difficulties.
Yeah, baby, we are ready to roll. We got Cowboy here. We got Weston Gold in the house. We are live, people with the gold standard. Welcome, welcome, welcome. No filter, no fear, just pure gold.
Heck yeah, there you go.
Awesome. And just a quick reminder to everybody. I'm a big shot.
I wish I had one of those. I got some real ones, but they're like 2 years old.
Yeah, hey, that's all right. That's all right. As long as you keep them humidified, they're good.
Oh,
man.
they weren't in a humidor. Let's just put it that way. I bought them for when I got married, and yeah, they kind of went a little dry.
Okay, well, you can bring them back.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've got a few like collectors. Like I got some cigars that are actually back from like the 50s.
Wow, no kidding.
Mhm.
Whoa,
Yep.
dang.
They're still sealed in glass tubes and everything.
Whoa, that's impressive, man. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
I wouldn't smoke those, so I think that would not feel good.
No, not at all.
So how are things on your front?
Really good, man. We finally warmed up here a little bit too, which is good. Sun came out, and yeah, it's feeling good.
Finally, for the first time here this year, I had to order propane this morning. So yeah, it's finally about time for that. But I think that, like I said, is what I was saying before. It's kind of tampered down everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
But there are some hardcore people out there that have been still, in the streets, and they tore up that hotel I just seen last night. I didn't see that one until just a little bit ago.
Yep, I saw that. Yeah, it's just unbelievable, man. It is just unbelievable.
And I know that there's been some phone calls and stuff, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about it all. We got some people in here. I just want to say hello to Lula 007. It's Crystalline came back. Good for you. Thank you so much for coming back. Let's see. Angel Alvarado. Alvarado, is that how you say that? So we got some great people in here. Thanks for being here. It's Crystalline is asking where you guys are from. We're both originally from Minnesota, don't you know?
Don't you know?
So that's pretty cool, eh? And just want to go through some quick preliminary thoughts here before we dive into the subject matter. For those of you who are new to the gold standard, welcome. Welcome. Hey, want to make sure you subscribe. We talk about the two things that you're not supposed to talk about here, which is politics and religion.
Yep.
Two things that actually matter and the two things that actually, they're actually important. Like people say you don't want to talk about those things. Well, those are the two things that actually kind of are the most important things in life, really, when you think about it, because politics basically is the discussion about what the rules are, who makes the rules, who the leaders are of your society, and who decides who the leaders are in your society. So, kind of important stuff, really, when you think about it. And the discussion of religion is all about what's the purpose of life? What happens when you die? Those are kind of important when you think about it, right?
I'd say all those questions are very important.
Yeah. So, and yet they're the two things that you're not supposed to talk about because why? Because they're controversial. They make people feel uncomfortable, and we wouldn't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable now, would we? So we might make people feel a little uncomfortable in here. That's okay. We like that sort of thing. And, we recognize, I recognize, and Cowboy recognizes that not everybody's going to agree with me. Not everybody's going to agree with me or Cowboy. And Cowboy and I may not always agree either. But you know what? It's not about that. It's about talking it out, having discussion, talking about things that actually matter. And you know what? If we can talk things out, then we're halfway there. We're already halfway there, and we can have fun. We can make fun of each other. We can make fun of ourselves. I make fun of myself all the time. I certainly don't need any help doing that, but I get a lot of help because I get a lot of people that make fun of me in here, which is fine by me. I really don't care. Um, and we've got lovers and we've got haters. We got people that agree. We got people that disagree, and that's great. We love everybody.
Yep.
And if you disagree, just like Charlie Kirk says, come to the front of the line, pick up the microphone, and let's have a talk. All I ask is that you check out the guidelines for the channel, that which basically is everything you needed to know in life you learned in kindergarten. So just use your manners. That's all I ask. Use your manners. Don't be rude. Don't be unhuman. Keep it human in here. And basically my only rule is you can't make fun of Charlie Kirk. You make fun of Charlie Kirk and you're out of here, because you know why? Because he's not here to defend himself. So making fun of people that aren't here to defend themselves is not cool, and I won't tolerate it, because I think it's disgusting and I think it's uncalled for. So, other than that, you can pretty much say whatever you want if you say it in good faith. If you're here to just, hurl insults, probably should just move along. And I was talking to a guy the other day. I was telling him about my channel, and I was telling him about all the haters that we get and all the insults
Oh
that we
yeah.
get. And he had a really interesting comment. He goes, "Why do those kind of people hang out in your channel when they could go to a lefty channel or find a channel they agree with and just contribute and say, 'Yeah, this is great. I agree. I agree. I agree.' But instead they come here to antagonize." And for most average normal people, doesn't really make sense to most people. But then you realize there's something called trolls, and trolls just
Oh
like to
yeah.
cause trouble. And but I like trolls. I love trolls because they fuel the algorithm and they grow my channel.
Yep.
So I'm all for it, just as long as you keep it human. And Cowboy's going to be monitoring the chat. um, and if you cross the line, you're out of here, basically.
Oh yeah.
So,
Pretty much.
but
No, it is.
otherwise,
We're
we'll
gonna have a
respond.
discussion, and
Yeah, and we'll try to respond to as many comments as we can as we go. Can't guarantee that we can respond to all of them, but we'll definitely try to read them.
Yep.
And then the thing is that if you want me to read your comment or question live on the show, super chats are the way to go, because we are part of the YouTube partner program. And so super chats, super thanks, gifts, and jewels are all unlocked and available to you. And this is a viewer supported channel. So that's how we keep the lights on. I want to thank everybody who supports the channel. Really, really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
All right. Sounds good to me.
So, Cowboy, tell me, we're going to obviously we need to talk about Minneapolis. I've been writing about this on Substack. I invite people to check out my Substack. And basically, I've come to the conclusion that the Civil War has started. That's my conclusion. And I know that may sound sensational, it may sound over dramatic, but actually, I don't think it is. I actually don't think it is. I think the Civil War has started, and it started in Minneapolis, my hometown, the city of my, you know, youth, and it's really sad for me. But the reason I say that it's the Civil War has begun is because it's not just a protest anymore. Okay. And I'm not sure if it ever was, but everybody tried to sort of convince themselves that this was basically a protest, I think. And the truth is it was never a protest from the beginning. It's always
No.
been a state of war. And now we find out that there's these signal chat things going on. It's highly, highly organized. I mean, we kind of suspected that, but now we have the proof and we know. and it looks like it goes all the way to the top.
And honestly, the first comment you got here about this was really good. Is that Tony actually said, "What's so civil about war?" And
Yeah,
that's exactly what my opening is going to be. Is the fact that I hope not. Let's just put it this way. Yes, they're going to get organized, and there is
yeah,
some stuff going on, but people that are literally hoping that this happens is awful. Like
yeah,
that is not something we should ever wish upon because it's not some battlefield thousands of miles away. This is in our backyards, it's in our
yeah,
cities and everything
yeah,
else like that. It splits apart families and
yeah,
homes and all that stuff. Is we gotta very hope that there is no extremism going on, which
right.
we know that there are out there. There
Yeah,
are some
yeah.
extremists out there.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if you've seen the video out of, I think it was from today, but a lady picked up a live flashbang grenade that was thrown
Yep,
into a crowd. That was pretty.
I saw
I'm gonna
that.
use the word dumb. Like
Yeah,
it's straight dumb. Like you pick
yeah,
up a live flashbang grenade and she lost fingers.
yep, yeah. It's
And I
it's
hope,
just
Comrade Jones, I hope nobody's going to war.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I hope not, but I mean, it pretty much I mean, I hate to say it, but it's already happening. Um, the so-called protesters, they already are at war. They're at war with ICE. They're at war with the federal government. Tim Walz is at war with the federal government. So is Jacob Fry. Now, supposedly there were some phone calls today. I'm really
That's what I heard.
hoping that I'm really hoping that that changes the trajectory. But you've got three people that have been killed um, by federal agents or shot. I don't know if they have. I'm not sure if the second one died, but there's been three shootings, anyways.
Yep.
Two for sure that have died, and
9 people.
irregardless of whether it was justified or not, which I don't want to get into right now. The truth of the matter is there have been people killed, and this is. I mean, there's no nice way to put it. Um, this is a war.
Yeah.
And, there's been a cold civil war going on for quite some time. Now it's turned violent. And if it was just protesters, if it was just liberal white minivan moms going out doing their social justice warrior stuff, and just keeping it nonviolent, keeping it peaceful, that'd be one thing, you know but they're not doing that.
Yeah.
They're not keeping it like that by design. And I think part of the problem is there are people on that side, because let's face it, this is a division between two sides. That's what
Yeah.
civil war is. There's two sides. There's the federal government, and there's the state and the protesters, the people that are against ICE, the anti-ICE people. Um, and unfortunately, it looks to me like the anti-ICE people have decided that there's no there's no choice. Like they have no other choice than to be violent.
Well, and again, it's just like most people are going to say is, in my opinion, when you start getting these protests together, there are always going to be agitators in the crowd.
Yeah.
There are people that have secondary objectives for what's going on, and they are using this to their advantage. You don't think the
Hmm.
government throws smoke up to hide what's going on or whatever else? I don't fully trust our government. I don't fully
Right.
trust any of these people because I'm looking at it
No.
from the outside in, and I don't want to go in. So,
Right.
yeah.
No. No. Well, and from my perspective, I'm just sharing my opinion. I'm just a
No,
guy.
absolutely.
I'm just a guy, and I just share my opinions.
Yep.
All right. You can agree or you can disagree. But in my opinion, um, this is
Ooh.
this is a
You
what?
got a good response to your
Oh,
comment
good.
there. So I
Oh,
don't mean to cut you
tell me.
off because
No,
this one
please.
Lola actually made the comment, but when Obama did this, it was silence.
Yep.
That is true.
Yep.
Like that is an excellent comment because ICE was very well used through the Obama administration. They
Oh
they
yeah.
came out about 2003, 2004.
Hmm.
It just wasn't politicized.
Exactly. Yep.
So that was awesome. I had to stop because I seen that and I
Yeah.
was like, that was
Oh, and thank
amazing.
you. Yeah. No, that's great. And you can interrupt me anytime if you want to bring up a comment. And that reminds me. I don't know if you saw that Caroline Levitt today. I didn't see the whole thing. I really want to go back and rewatch it, but apparently she really smoked the press today.
Really?
Um, but one of the points she made that I thought was very good, right along those same lines, is that did you guys know that when Obama was president, Tom Homan was a hero, and Obama gave Tom Homan an award, some kind of medal for
Really?
the job. Yeah, for the job that he was doing,
Hmm.
running, border patrol, running immigration enforcement, enforcing immigration law,
Yep.
and so on and so forth. So that's just proof right there, in my opinion, that this is all political. This is all about Trump. It's all about getting Trump, making Trump look bad. Um, they hate Trump, and
They've
I hate
literally
this.
thrown paths. They've thrown so many things right in front of him, trying to help him, trying to go against him. The thing is I think that he does truly mean well in most things. He's an average American. He's a billionaire, yes, but he's not a politician. At the end of the day,
Right.
he's
Exactly.
navigating waters that he, you know, hasn't
Yeah.
been in.
Yeah. No, it's very true. And I hate to say it, but the same people, the same spirit that killed Charlie Kirk is the same spirit that is in the streets right now, organizing, using Signal, inspired by Antifa, well funded by George Soros and his organization. It's basically the same people, the same group, the same side, if you will, that are anti. They're pro open border. They're
Yep.
anti Christian. They're anti Trump. They're anti America. They're anti um, freedom, liberty. They're anti founding of America. They want. It's basically a communist revolution, is what it is.
And absolutely, if you look at anything else, it's just been so far nonviolent. I guess it's not like what's going on in Iran. We don't have thousands of people that have been gunned down in our streets, but
No.
it, there are people that call for violence. Now you've got the left who's hated guns forever now want to get guns, and it's like,
Yeah.
eh, what is going on here? Like,
Exactly.
what is that? Is my question is what is happening?
Yeah.
Is we are
Exactly.
so far divided through this entire country that you can't have a conversation without people trying to tear you apart.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true, and it's sad. And you know, um, I mean, just like the Renee Good situation. Um, the video doesn't look great.
No,
It doesn't look good. It does, it doesn't sound good. It doesn't look good. But then you have to step back and go, he showed up to a protest with a gun. He resisted arrest. Um, they saw the gun, and now I've heard that, it seems like the gun went off by accident. And so then they start yelling gun, gun. They hear the gunshot, and one of them starts yelling gun, gun while he's resisting arrest.
you gotta think that these guys are running at like 1,000% all the time right now.
Yeah.
Assaults on our law enforcement are up
Yeah.
over 1,000% now, and everything going on. But who knows? Like that's the thing
Yeah.
is we see all
Yeah.
these different angles,
Yep.
and
Exactly.
we weren't there. We didn't do it. These guys have to make split second decisions. If
Yep.
he was disarmed, how are
Yep.
the other guys going to know if you walk away and disarm him and they see something like that? So it's
Yeah.
I don't know. It's scary as
No,
hell.
and I mean, here's the deal: whether the gun went off or not, whether this happened or that happened, whether what the truth is, just like Renee Good, they're 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 part of the anti-ICE group. What's it called? ICE Watch. They're part of the Signal chat. Um, they haven't confirmed that Renee Good was on it, but she was definitely part of the training. She was in on all the training and all that, and she knew where to be. So it's reasonable to assume that she had that inside communication. He, um, what's his name? Peretti.
Yep. Yep.
He was definitely on the Signal chat. He was definitely one of the leaders. He was there to agitate. He was there doing, things he shouldn't have been doing. So both of them were in basically committing felonies before all this bad stuff went down, before the shots were fired. And everybody knows you don't resist arrest, and you don't resist arrest armed. So
I mean, they
it's
tell you like again, is I'm all for it. I've got a permit to carry in the state of Minnesota too.
yeah,
I wouldn't put myself in that situation. I am pro
right.
Second Amendment all the way. So
Oh,
you do you,
absolutely.
like absolutely, but you're putting yourself in a volatile situation. They teach you that in any of these classes.
Yeah,
Just don't
exactly.
do that.
No, no. It's kind of like uh I-35, I-35.
Yep.
I know I-35. I drove it all the time. Um, you know, if you decide to go play in traffic and walk out into the middle of I-35
Mhm.
when the cars are going 60, 70 miles an hour, um, something bad's going to happen. If you decide, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go have some fun. I'm going to go play in the traffic on I-35. You're putting yourself in a dangerous position.
Yeah.
And if a car hits you, can you blame the driver? No, can't blame the
Here's the
driver.
thing: is people interjecting. I get it, like protest and be all this. That's fine,
Yeah,
but you are putting yourself in these positions where these officers have been working and working and working.
yeah, yeah.
You can't attack police. That's at the
No,
end of the day,
no.
comply.
Yep,
I
yep.
hate to say it, and that sounds awful, but just comply with what they're saying.
Yeah, and everybody knows that's how you do it. But
Yep.
here's the problem: these people are so, and I hate to use the word, but I don't know how else to explain it. These people have been so brainwashed that number one, these people are evil. Border Patrol and ICE are evil, and number two, because they've been told by the governor and the mayor and leading Democrats around the country, they're the Gestapo, they're the Nazis, they're the this, they're the that, and so they believe it, and now they're being trained by these Antifa types. Basically, it's Antifa. Um, that it's justified, and this is what you have to. Number one, these are the techniques that you use to resist them and to,
Yep.
whatever the word is, go against them. And number two, you are totally justified in doing so. So they've convinced themselves that they're in the right, that what they're doing is righteous. They've got the moral high ground because these people are evil. They're the Nazis, they're the Gestapo, they're the whatever. And you got Walls saying they're going door to door arresting brown people. I mean, what? They're going
So
door to door
fun
looking
fact,
for.
it's the people that say that they didn't have warrants and stuff. So I have inside knowledge. I know how this stuff works. They make a phone call. They have federal judges on the line that
Oh
give
yeah,
them the option to do this. Like it's not that
exactly.
they're, just kicking indoors for fun.
Yeah, no, no, no. They're following the law. They're following the procedures. They're following their training. They're following the law. They're following the due process that they're supposed to follow. They are. They absolutely are. And if you're being told they're not, someone is lying to you.
Yep.
And
And here's the
if
thing,
you
I'm not saying I don't know all the facts yet either. I'm not going to
right,
say it was a warranted shooting. Like I don't know.
no,
I'm
no,
not an expert. I'm not a legal expert. I'm not in the
yeah,
shoes of the agents. I'm not in the shoes of what happened. Like
exactly,
ridiculous.
exactly. Yeah, but everybody knows that if you resist arrest, you fight police, and you reach for a gun or you have a gun, something bad's going to happen. And no, I mean, no common sense, reasonable person is going to blame the cop for defending themselves and making that split second decision. And in fact, did you know that prior to 1985 or in the mid 80s, police in most states were completely justified in shooting a felon in the back as they ran away, as they tried to flee the
If it
scene.
could, yes, if they were stopping a violent felon. So
Yep.
there are still rules in place that are like that. Is
Yep.
law enforcement has a little bit looser rules than, let's say, a citizen in the state of Minnesota because we don't have a stand your ground here in Minnesota.
Okay.
So they very much side against people carrying guns here, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Well, it's a crazy lefty blue state. Always has been.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. And what's really interesting about that though is if you look at a map, you look at a political map of the state of Minnesota, it's all red. The entire state is red except for the Twin Cities and the, you know, far tip of the Iron Range, you
Yep.
know. That's it. Everything else is red everywhere. So it's just the urban, um, Minneapolis, St. Paul basically rules the rest of the state, and that's unfortunate.
It is. It's ruined this. I think the last time that the state of Minnesota went red was when Reagan was running for president.
Nope, it was even before that. In fact,
Really?
when Reagan, yeah, because I was alive then. um, so that was a very interesting situation.
Yeah.
When Reagan ran for president in 1980, he went up against Walter Mondale, who was from Minnesota, right?
Yep.
Mondale had been Carter's vice president,
Okay. That's okay. Yep. I
and
remember this.
Reagan won in a landslide. He won every single state in the union. 49 out of 50 states he won, except for one state. Guess which state? Minnesota,
Wow.
don't you know?
Don't you
Minnesota,
know?
don't you know? Which, basically Mondale won his own state, and that's it. That was 1980. And my understanding is that the only time that Minnesota voted for a Republican president was
All that
1972.
thought. So, and again, I know we ignore trolls, but
That's all right.
what is that? That Gene 2287 commented, "Man, I'd love to find these two. What are you going to do? You going to buy me a cup of coffee? You going to hang out and have a conversation? Or are you
Yep.
threatening violence? Like, we don't need that here. So,
No.
I'm 1000%. You don't need to be threatening violence, bro.
Nope. Nope. And if you
We're just having
do,
a conversation. You don't need to be here. You can swipe on up. Just keep on
yeah.
rolling.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
And if you make threats, you're out of here, and you'll we'll never see you again.
Yeah.
Um, but I always like to say, if you don't like what we're talking about and you don't like what we're saying, you can leave. No one's holding a gun to your head to stay here and
Nope.
watch. If you really don't like it and you're really disgusted by what we're saying, then gosh darn, there's 115 million YouTube channels that you can choose from. And you can
A
choose
lot
to
of
go and
content.
watch another channel. And if someone is holding a gun to your head, please let us know. I'll call 911 for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Be
yeah,
happy.
it's just funny. It's just uncalled for. What are you gonna do? FAFO? Are you really threatening us while we're having a conversation? That is a coward. You were sitting behind a screen being a coward.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
But we're glad you're here because you know
Yeah.
why? Because you might just learn something if you stick around.
Yeah, we're just having conversations. That's all this is.
Yeah, yeah, it's absolutely. So,
It's like
anywho,
earlier, I seen somebody ask what side we're on, and it's just like, does it have to be that all the time? Is
yeah,
it always what side are you on? What side are you on?
yeah, yeah, and that's really too bad.
It
That's really
is.
too bad, and it's what's wrong with what's going on right now. It's sad and disturbing, what's going on right now, and you know, I just want to make it very clear that um, you know, I am very sad that there has been loss of life and that these
Oh,
individuals have
absolutely.
been
That's and
shot
that's one
and
thousand
killed.
percent. Nobody should be killed. Like
No,
it's none of us are sitting here saying this should have happened, but we
no,
also can't follow to mob rule. Like mob
no,
rule does not work.
no.
That's the thing is
It
if you
cannot
want
work.
to change what's going on, go to your congressman, go to your representatives, change it that way.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Go and meet with them in DC. Call them up and say, "I'd like to meet with you in your office. I'm your constituent." And I guarantee you, they will make time for you and they want to hear from you. They want to know what you're thinking. They want to know how you feel. And as their constituent, they need to meet with you, and they will.
And mob rule does suck. Somebody said right there, Izzy, mob rule sucks. It absolutely
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Is the fact that we can't go to certain places right now because all it is protesters and stuff going on in the cities, and
Yeah.
it's not good. And
Yeah.
just like this is January 6th. Again, we've been fissured for so long in this country that it's all about whose side are you on. When a conversation opens up, are you Republican? Are you a Democrat?
Yeah.
What that's my question, I guess I pose. What do you think is going to fix this? Like,
Yeah.
what will bring this country together?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good question. I would love
So you
to
want to keep
hear.
calling me, saying post my address, keep calling us cowards. What will fix this situation? Other than threats and whatever else, is like, what do you do to fix this?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, it's sad. It's sad. But you know
And
what?
Gene, goodbye. I seen you're gone now. You can hear us, but you're gone. So that's
Yeah.
uncalled for. And it's at the end of the day, when you have a conversation, you have somebody that are piping in like that. And I've seen somebody that said they're an independent and they approve what we're saying. That's true. And everybody that comments about the hat, his hat is satire.
Yeah.
Go to the Leering Center, get a better education. If it triggers you, it's doing its job.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, by the way, I just want to pause for just a minute and
Yeah.
say, hey, you know what? If the gold standard has brought you value, clarity, encouragement, perspective, hey, gifts and jewels is how we keep the lights on. And it's super, super appreciated. Super thanks, super chats go a long way. And if you want us to read your comment or question, or if you want me to, Cowboy might do it without this, but if you want me to read your
Sorry.
comment or question live on the show, super chats are the way to go. Happy to do it. And the thing is, we get a lot of haters in here, but the thing is, there's a lot of supporters, and there's more
Absolutely.
supporters than there are haters. So, Cowboy, I choose to speak to those who love you and love me and love what we're saying, love this country. And by
You
the
are much
way,
nicer than I am because I'll call them out all day. If I
yeah,
see it, I call it out. I seen
yeah,
somebody that said cowboy up. That's the
yeah,
way to go.
yeah,
It,
yeah,
you
yeah.
fall down.
Welcome.
You guys could say whatever you want. I know that
Yeah,
I'm standing on the moral high ground.
exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly. And real quickly, I just want to mention that we do have a goal for this live stream. 100 joules, 15 new subscribers, 20 likes, and just $10 in gifts goes a long ways. We're really close here at the Gold Standard to hitting the goal for the month, so that we can get the payout from YouTube. Makes a huge difference. And I just want to
So you just
mention
got a
too.
shiny poop.
Yeah, there you go. There we go. Hey, we'll take it. We'll take whatever you got. We'll take whatever. I mean, gold poop. It fits with the gold standard, right? And I also want to remind everybody that
Oh no.
this channel is dedicated to my grandfather, who served in World War II in the Pacific Theater. He was at Saipan, Tinian, Guam, and one of the bloodiest battles of them all, Iwo Jima, where we lost 26,000 casualties, including 7,000 of our young sailors and Marines that never returned to their moms and dads. And that kind of courage, that kind of bravery, and that kind of sacrifice deserves respect and honor from the rest of us. So just want to say, hey, thank you so much for everybody that supports this channel. We got a lot of good people in here. We got people that believe in America, believe in what my grandfather believed in and fought for. And you know what? It's pretty cool. We've got membership open too. I just got my first member just yesterday, and
Awesome.
so members are welcome. Makes a big difference. So become a member of the Gold Standard. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like.
You see
'Cause
that? Hey,
these,
Weston. Somebody both said there they love us both. Keep up the fire. And
look at
that's
that.
exactly it here. We're just
See,
having conversation and all that stuff,
there you go. There you go.
Don't you know?
Don't you know? Don't you know? So that's what it's all about. We got 135 jewels.
Amazing.
We got gifts coming in right now. So Cowboy, Talk to me about where this is headed. Do you think now that these phone calls have taken place, now that Tom Holman is going to be meeting with, I believe Walls and Fry tomorrow? Um, what do you think? What's going to happen? Is it gonna settle down?
So
Um,
I know that they've been trying to use Minnesota as a point. That's why we've seen this operation flood through with all these ICE members and this and that.
yeah,
I'm hoping that all that needs to happen is there needs to be more cooperation with federal law enforcement and local law enforcement. They
yeah,
can't keep fighting them because that's what keeps happening. They have no local support here. These guys aren't
yeah,
from here. They have a
exactly.
mission to do.
Yeah,
If they get support from local law enforcement and everything kind of calms down, that'd be great.
yeah,
Like this happens all over the place. They've been using ICE since 2004,
yeah,
but it's been so politicized and people are standing on a hill. Like at the end of the day, I get it. Everybody says that nobody's illegal, but here I very much believe that there's a right way to do it. I
yeah,
am not anti-immigration. I am not
yeah.
anything like that.
Right.
Do it the right way. At the end of the
Exactly.
day, there are ways to do this and we need to come together. So
Yeah.
that's all it is at the end of the day, we got to stop fighting each other. There's too much infighting, too much right and left.
Yeah.
Stand outside the wire for a while and see what's going on.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. We have to come together. We have to figure out how to come together. We've always, you know, I mean, obviously we did fight a civil war in this country, but since then, which has been a long time, we've always figured out how to come together and how to put our differences aside and how to work through our differences for the best of the country, for the better of the country. And
That's
my
exactly it. Here's the thing is everybody, and I don't mean to cut you off, but we're all
no,
in this short-minded, we
yeah,
are the individual. At the end of the day, it's all about the country. It's
yeah,
about your fellow neighbors. It's about everybody here.
yeah,
We will fall apart. If we don't stand united, we fall divided.
yeah,
At the
yeah,
end of the day, that's what it is.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's very true. And what worries me is that we're at a point now where, and you and I have talked about this before. Unfortunately, there's a difference between the left and right and Democrat and Republican. When I was growing up, and I always give this example, I so remember when I was in sixth grade and my next door neighbor, who was my home ec teacher, who was a Democrat, voted for uh, Mondale,
Yeah.
and I was for Reagan. I couldn't vote yet because I was in sixth grade, but but I believed in Reagan's message, and I believed in peace through strength. I believed in his platform and his principles, and that's how I was raised. And I remember being the obnoxious little middle school kid that I was. The day after the election, I went to school and I went to my teacher's room and I gloated a little bit. And I said, "Ha." I said, "Ha ha. Reagan won. You lost." Because we'd been talking about it. We'd been talking
Yep.
about it. And, she was so gracious. And she said, "I know. I know. And you know what? I believe that uh, President Reagan will do a good job."
Yep.
You
To
know,
be
and
honest, there's
and
only
it's
and this is before my time. This is your time.
yeah,
But as a history buff, there's only two things that Reagan did that were not so great.
mm-hmm,
One was the Beirut bombing that kind of sucked for his administration, and
yeah,
then the second was the Hughes Amendment. So when they
mm-hmm,
midnight passed gun control the way they did was absolutely
hmm,
awful.
yeah, yeah,
So because everybody knows before 1986 you could walk into a gun shop and buy a fully automatic weapon. They were
yeah,
never used in any crimes and they were readily available and they weren't even more expensive than the other ones.
yeah. Those were the good old
No,
days.
those were the good old days that I didn't get to experience.
Yeah, yeah. No, nobody's perfect. No president's
No,
perfect.
no.
But my point is that back in those days, um, Republicans could look at Democrats and say, "I disagree with you, but I think you have the best." the best interests of the country in mind. And a
That's it
Democrat,
right there. The interest of the country in mind.
yep, and a Democrat could look at a Republican and say the same thing, and say, I disagree with you. I don't agree with how we get there. Okay. I have a different vision of how we get there, but I believe that you have the best interest of the country in mind. You just have a different idea of how to get there that I don't
Yep.
agree with. Okay. And Reagan back in the 80s was famous for being buddies and like almost best friends with Tip O'Neill, who was the Speaker of the House, who was on the far other side of the political spectrum from Ronald Reagan, and did
Yep.
everything he could to block Reagan's agenda, right? But they were best friends. They could play golf, they could go out for a drink, they could laugh, they could make fun of each other in a fun way. And like I saw somebody in the comments earlier, those days are over. And I'm afraid they are. And I'll tell you why I think they're over. And it's not only because the the two sides, have gone from here to
Yeah.
here, you know, they don't even fit on the screen, so the divide has gotten very wide. But unfortunately, and I'm just expressing my opinion,
Yep.
but the way I see it, um, the far left radical side of the Democrat Party has taken over the party, which are basically, I hate to say it, but it's true. I'm going to be honest. They're communists. The communists have taken over. And in my opinion, I don't know how you can be a communist and still have the best interest of the country in mind. That's a completely different vision for America that is not compatible with the founding of our country.
See, most of these people that read Karl Marx's work, they read it, but they didn't
Mhm.
understand it.
No, no,
So,
no, not at all.
no.
Not at all. So, anywho, it's sad what's going on, and what worries me is that Minnesota is a test uh, that the communists and Antifa is using as a testing ground for their tactics. And have you heard of the Cloward Piven strategy?
I have not actually.
Okay. Let me pull up some stuff here real quick. And I'll go through that with you. Whew. Yeah. So my hope is that this will pipe down and settle down.
I'm hoping so too. Like I said, is
Um,
there's extremists on both sides that are looking to take advantage of this. That's all it
right.
is.
Right.
Um, yeah, so somebody said that our version of brown shirts are so damn lame. Look at this. What like okay, did you know that a lot of the people that actually work for ICE and Border Patrol are not even like American citizens? They're not white. There's a lot of Hispanics that work for them and everything else.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about Cloward Piven.
Yeah.
Because you need to know about this. The Cloward Piven strategy, cowboy, is what Antifa and the communists are implementing right now.
Okay.
It's a political theory about using institutional overload to force systematic change. This is what they're doing, specifically within welfare and social policy. So we see this with the fraud in Minnesota with Somalian fraud and whatnot, the
Yep.
daycares and all the stuff that they've been doing. The strategy argues that if you overwhelm an existing system with demands, it will collapse or be forced to be radically transformed. So this is why they opened the border. Okay.
Yep.
They opened the border so that it would overwhelm the system because obviously 20 million people suddenly coming in to our country and overrunning our cities, our small towns, our hospitals, our education system, our all of our systems. Our systems weren't designed to handle an instant influx of 20 million people. They just weren't, right?
No, catch and release
Um,
didn't work. It made it a lot worse.
yeah, yeah. So this idea was laid out in 1966 in an academic article by two sociologists, Francis Piven and Richard Cloward. So that's where the names come from, the Cloward Piven strategy. And so basically their argument is, um, you know, welfare programs existed on paper. Many eligible people weren't enrolled. If activists helped everyone eligible to sign up all at once, the system would become financially and administratively overwhelmed and
Yep.
trigger a political crisis.
Basically,
So,
mob rule.
yeah, mob rule,
Yep.
overwhelm the system to create the change that they're wanting.
Yep.
Um, Identify a fragile system, step one. Maximize participation or demand. So encourage everyone entitled to benefits or services to claim them simultaneously, right?
Well,
And then overload the system, create the crisis, and then force reform. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing right now, right? Like you said, mob rule. If you overwhelm the system, you overwhelm ICE, you know, um, and then you defund them. If you can defund them and overwhelm them, and then obviously, you know, create so much chaos that um, they start to win the political public opinion.
yeah.
They sway public opinion their way, and it worries me because I worry that um, these kinds of shootings and deaths is exactly what the left wants, and they're
Absolutely.
sacrifice
It's
there's
it's scary.
yeah, and they're sacrificing these liberal white women. And I don't what's up with these liberal white women. And I'm not trying to be mean or cruel. I just don't understand it. Where are they're it's like they're angry and they're taking out their anger on this perceived injustice, and um they're actually
And honestly, Weston, a lot of it is in perception. It's the media
yeah,
of what is
yeah,
being put to us. And
yeah.
you can't trust. And I'm going to say this, and it's not that I'm going to come out because I'll get called like that. I only watch Fox and this and that, but I don't.
Right.
So
Right.
I
Right.
watch everything. I've watched
Yeah.
CNN, I watch Fox, I watch
Yeah.
NBC, I watch ABC. I try to get as many opinions as I can, but it's really
Yep.
strange because the talking points that they use, I don't know if you've ever
Yep.
seen those videos where they mash them up and they're
Oh yeah.
all saying the same exact thing because people don't realize the majority of our mass media is owned by a handful of people.
Yep.
It is a handful of people that push the narrative of what's going on.
Yep. Yep. And that's why I love what we do here, because no one's telling me what I can and can't say. Nobody's giving me talking points. Nobody is, um, giving me anything. You
No,
know, I'm completely independent. I can say whatever I want, and
that's exactly it.
I'm speaking the truth as I know it and as I believe it. And you're free to disagree, but I'm telling you, more and more people are chucking the mainstream media and going to YouTube and watching channels like this to find out what's really going on,
Oh yeah.
because nobody can trust the mainstream media anymore, and
No,
everybody
right
knows it.
right now we're at an all-time low of actual media trust. Like
Yeah,
if I ask anybody in your chat right now, do you guys trust the media? Y
yeah,
or N?
yep,
That's all I gotta say. Type Y or N. Do you trust the local media? Like any
yep,
media?
yep, yeah. Give us a
And Work
why
in
and an
Progress made a comment earlier saying that they should send all the bad ones to Minnesota. Don't do that. I'm in Minnesota. I don't want no more
yeah,
bad. Don't you
yeah,
know? No, no.
yeah.
We already
No,
have enough.
I've already seen
See, look at this.
uh
So look at your more than your scam or more than you scum. Oh, that's nice. But most of these people are saying no to this. It's
yeah,
you can't if you can't trust your news sources, what can you trust?
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
definitely. Yeah, no, and this is where I have to say, Orwell was right.
Oh yeah.
Orwell was right again. You know, this idea that, I mean, you've seen the mashups too, like
Oh yeah.
CNN, ABC, NBC, all of them. CNN, MS Now, yeah, they all literally say the same talking points.
Yeah.
Whenever an issue comes up, and it's, they come up with these anti-Trump talking points, and you've seen them. They show the videos of all these different news personalities and commentators that are supposedly journalists, and they all use the same exact words, the same exact terminology, the same exact talking points. And it's like, did you guys all get together in a meeting and decide what you were going to say? You
Oh yeah.
know?
Well, it's because you got to think though, like, and this is kind of going off on a tangent, but look at what we watch, and then go to a place like Russia and look what they watch. Is we are fed propaganda on all ends.
Oh
Do
yeah,
you think that somebody that is sitting watching whatever they're watching in Russia really hates us, or like?
yeah,
I don't care. I
yeah,
really don't. So
yeah,
here's at the end of the day, is they try to pit each other, and we're still in a cold war, but it's just getting worse.
yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly. No, it's just it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And then if you get, like what we saw with Biden, you get collusion between the mainstream media and the government,
Yep.
right? And this is what Orwell talked about. You get the government dictating to the mainstream media, these are the stories we want you to run. This is what we want you to say. Don't say anything negative about us. Don't run the Hunter Biden laptop story because that makes us look bad. It might prevent
I mean, it's the same
people
thing as
from
when
vote.
they cry about the Epstein files, and here,
Yeah.
like, I see that all the time now.
Oh yeah.
And you want to know my opinion on it? If
Yeah. Tell
anybody
me.
shows up in those that could be complicit to it, should be addressed and fully charged to it. It doesn't matter
Yep.
who's in the Epstein files. If President Trump is
Mhm,
in the Epstein files,
mhm,
and there is actual hard evidence that is brought out to show that he did
mhm.
wrong, I am
Yep.
full support on every one of those people that
Yep.
should be tried and should be held accountable for anything that's done.
Yeah.
That's any crime across the board,
Yeah.
including the scams that are going on in Minneapolis and all this stuff with the daycare
Yep.
centers. If they find that Walls or any of these guys are complicit, they should
Yep.
be charged fully,
Yep.
fully.
Yep. Absolutely. Nobody is above the law.
Correct.
And I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Do you believe that the government was involved with Epstein? Do you think it was a CIA
So,
op?
and that's honestly, I don't know if he was CIA or for whatever else, but he was in
Yeah.
a position of great power. Let's
Yep.
put it this way: for all these rich and famous people to be around him, it wasn't just his money.
Yeah.
I honestly think that he was probably involved with some intelligence agencies.
Yeah.
He was an agent of some sorts.
Yeah. I agree. I totally agree. And the
Oh yeah.
question is who? The question is, you know, who? And that's what we got to find out. The Epstein files are going to come out. They're coming out. It's I know they think Trump's hiding stuff. I don't think he is. I don't like how he handled it completely. I'm not in a total 100% agreement with how he handled that. I'm also not in total 100% agreement with how he's handled Minneapolis. So like you say, you always say, hey, I don't well, you actually say I'm not MAGA. Um but you don't agree with everything Trump says or
I
does, or
don't.
the
I question
government.
everything.
100.
Like,
Yeah,
when something
and I do
happens, I sit and I question it.
I do the same thing. I do the exact same thing. I just happen to agree with him, like most of the time, and I'm thankful that he's in the Oval Office right now. But that doesn't mean I agree with, I don't agree with him 100% on everything. And honestly, right now, um, I'm feeling like he's kind of weak right now with the whole Minneapolis thing. I'm
Well,
not
that's the
kind of
thing is,
liking
dude,
it.
when you've got everybody pitted against you, like, it's
Yeah,
what else you gonna do? So the problem is he's gonna capitulate. This is
yeah,
just my thing. I think it's
yeah.
gonna get capitulated,
Okay,
and people are gonna get emboldened. That's
yeah,
that's what it is.
yeah,
I think that it was handled kind of strong from the start. Like,
mm,
I understand, I know what he was getting at, whatever else,
yeah,
but at the same time, is it's tactician, man. If you're
yeah,
looking at this, like, every action has an equal opposite reaction. Let's just
yeah,
put it that way.
yeah,
If you're gonna start hog piling people into it, the people are gonna not like that too much. So
yeah, yeah. Yep, I agree, and I think
And on
go
that too.
for it,
Now I just thought of
go
it.
for
You
it.
seen the National Guard landed here, right? And what they were doing?
Yes, what?
What a waste
What?
of time and taxpayer dollars! I tell you what.
And
Just
I think that's insurrection right there.
you're
I don't know, like,
again. This is
why?
all stacking up to like it looks like they don't really actually even care.
No, no,
No,
and that's why I say these are the true insurrectionists, okay? I'm gonna be very clear about that. Walls, Fry, Ellison, Flanagan, it's all coming out and it's already obvious, but it's more and more evidence is going to be hard evidence that's going to come out that they
yep,
are the true insurrectionists. And they're the ones that claim J6 was the insurrection, and they're the insurrectionists. By definition, they are insurrectionists, right?
they're not wrong. They're doing the same exact thing.
They're doing the same
So
exact thing.
it's like being in a comparison. I've seen the Kyle Rittenhouse comparison too on everything that's going
Oh,
on.
that's ridiculous. That's so
And two different
ridiculous.
things. Two different things. You can't pick and choose what you're going to put into place there.
No,
And
no.
somebody said two MAGA idiots, right? Didn't we just say that I didn't claim to be MAGA?
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So there's only one MAGA idiot here, and that's me. All right.
Oh, jeez. Like I said, is if at the end of the day, if it, and I hope that Trump means well. I do.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: it's like I'm always watching, always paying attention. I voted for him. I voted for
Yep.
what's going on,
Yep.
but
Me too.
I'm not hardcore into anything. It's like the last president we had that had true fans was Reagan because he was a celebrity before he became, a politician as well.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
everybody that says that Trump can't do it because he's a celebrity, I mean, Reagan did it.
Yep.
You know.
Exactly. All right. I'm going to give a shout out to the Lonely Ranger here.
Ooh.
Can I get a shout out? I'm a Trump supporter like y'all. All right, brother. Way to go. And make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. We need you. We need all the help we can get because literally, Cowboy and I are our mission is to save Western civilization. That's the goal. That's the goal because that's what's under attack. And that's what we see in Minneapolis right now. It's the testing ground for the communist revolution, for the Antifa revolution, for the true insurrection. If they can get away with it in Minneapolis, they're going to try it in all the other big cities, major cities around the country. And it's the Cloward Piven thing. Let's
Yep.
overwhelm the system with mob rule. Let's get people shot and hurt so that the federal government looks bad, ICE looks bad, DHS looks bad, CBP looks bad, so that they have to pull back and stop what they're doing by getting rid of criminal, illegal aliens who are the worst of the worst, the violent criminals that have killed thousands of people in our country, raped our women and children, raped and murdered our women and children, and they should have never been here in the first place. And I like what they pointed out today. The press secretary pointed out today and said, "Look, none of this would have been happening if Biden hadn't let all these people in here in the first place."
Yeah.
So, Kamala loves to talk about root causes, right? Well, let's look at what is the root cause of what's going on in Minneapolis right now.
I mean, it's again, misinformation is everything. Like,
Yep.
these people are being pitted against each other and they don't even know why. At the end of the day, we're all pawns, we're all numbers, we're all
Yep.
feeding the machine.
Yep.
That's the way I look at it. And what you're saying is saving Western civilization. The best way we could do that is not through violence. Violence should be a last means. It should be
Exactly.
through peaceful conversations where you find mid grounds. Like that's the big thing. It's
Absolutely.
just finding the middle ground. But there is no
Absolutely.
middle ground anymore. It feels like, and it actually truly makes me sad. I miss the
Yep.
'90s. I
Yep.
miss when you
Me
like
too.
politics for a secondary thing. Like when they came around, they were great. Whatever else, everybody
Yep.
spent 6 months talking about politics, whatever else, and the president came in, and then they let them do their thing. So
Yeah, exactly.
yep.
Exactly. No, I definitely miss the 90s too. And I especially miss my favorite video game, Half-Life. Well, we'll have to talk about that sometime.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. That's fine.
I want to give a shout out here. We got Word Nerd 2005 saying Where was the riot for Lake and Riley? That's what I'm getting at.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Where's the riot for all these people that have been killed by illegals that should have never been here in the first place? Lake and Riley would be alive today if Joe Biden had not been president.
And that's
That's the
exactly it,
sad
too, because
truth.
I know firsthand there was policy that they were catching and releasing, and I know people that were involved with that whole thing, and it was bad. Like, you want to
Yeah.
talk about like loss of morale? Like, the people that defended our border had a major loss of morale during the time of Biden
Yep.
because they literally had the handcuffs on themselves. They couldn't do anything.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll give another shout out here
Hey,
because I've seen this guy comment a few times. All dusty roads, you keep on it, bud. You keep going. From a Minnesotan, you got it. So,
what's he saying? What's he saying?
oh, he's just been really good. So he's just been
Oh,
90s
yeah.
is the bomb. And he's had a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
good comments. I read
Nice.
them. I could see him coming through, but if we're in the middle of a conversation, so
Nice. Nice.
yeah,
Old Dusty Roads, man. I love that's a cool name. I like that. I
absolutely.
like that. I got some roads in my family background, so we could be related there, old Dusty Roads.
Oh boy.
But you never know. But
And it's
go
it's
ahead.
it's always fun. I always like I said, I love the comments. I love the interactions.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
because somebody's here. Brian Nelson said you guys are so ill informed. How are we ill informed? We're seeing the same media that you are.
Yeah.
Like we,
Exactly.
we see the same stuff that you are. People
Yeah.
that say that we're not informed enough, but we're all consuming the same news media.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, just go to the source, go to the primary source. That's how you do research, right?
Yep.
And judge for yourself. Do your own research and make up your own mind. And tell us where we're wrong. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Tell us
Instead of
where
saying
we're
we're ill
wrong.
informed, tell us why.
Yeah.
I am reading these
So,
comments. If I see a good one, I'll read it.
yep. And if I see a super chat, I'll read it.
And that works.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I just want to mention once again, if the gold standard has brought you value, clarity, perspective, or encouragement, hey, you know what to do. And I just want to say thanks for everybody who's supported the channel. Super chats, super thanks. Gifts and jewels go a long ways, makes a huge difference. But even more importantly, I'm glad you're here because there's never any pressure.
Yep.
And I just really want you guys to subscribe because together, just like Charlie Kirk understood, he can't do this alone. He couldn't do it by himself. He knew that, and this is why we need you. And when you subscribe or you support the channel in any way, you literally tell YouTube, you're literally telling Google, who owns YouTube, that bold, conservative, pro-America voices matter.
Yep.
And that's a
Absolutely.
strong that's a
Your
strong
voice is
signal.
the biggest thing. Your voice is always going to be the biggest thing. So
Absolutely.
do it properly, be respectful about it, but your voice is very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All the way. All the way. Um, let's see here. Man, my internet is just messed up tonight. It's just being really weird. What else you got, Cowboy? What
It's
else
been
is
pretty
on your
quiet.
mind?
So I know that it's been quiet other than that video of the lady, picking up a live flashbang. That's been an interesting one. And
Yeah.
they tore apart that hotel last night, which
Yeah.
that is not protesting,
No.
FYI. That
No.
is not protesting in any definition. That is that
No.
is literally mobbed. That's
Yeah.
rioting.
Yeah.
When you're
That's a
destroying
riot.
other people's property, spray painting, breaking stuff, that's not actually protesting. So
No.
if you're defending that as a protester, you are completely wrong.
Yeah.
Let's just put
Yeah.
it that way, because somebody else is building somebody else's stuff. Who cares if ICE is staying in that hotel? That
Yeah.
is not the place to do it.
No. And think about the businesses.
Yep.
These businesses are trying to make money. Whoever owns that hotel, I don't know if it's a big corporation or if it's a franchisee, a businessman or a family owned business. I mean, and then it's not just the hotel, it's the businesses around there,
Yep.
restaurants and things of that nature that are all suffering, because of this. That's not fair to them. What did they do? What did the hotel do to you?
Yep.
You know, that's not cool. Um, but have you seen anything about this Jack Smith situation where he was brought into Capitol Hill and kind of grilled a little bit? Have you seen any of that?
I did not see that one. No.
Okay. Yeah, it was pretty interesting because, he was spying on Republicans' phones
Oh,
unlawfully. It's still coming out. Who all's phone
I
phones
mean,
that he
you
was
got to remember
tapping.
during Trump's first administration, they were tapping him.
Yep.
Like they
Yep.
straight up were tapping him.
Yep. Yep. They were spying on his campaign, spying on his phone. I mean, all this stuff makes whatchamacallit. I forget it already. What's the name? I'm drawing a blank. Um the big political scandal of the Nixon years.
Oh, not no. You talking about Watergate?
Yeah, Watergate. All this stuff
Yeah,
makes
I am
Watergate.
not a criminal. I'm not a
Yeah, I
crook.
mean,
That's what it was. I'm not a
yeah.
crook.
I am not a crook. I am not a crook. Yeah, and I mean I was really young then, so I was too young to be aware of any of that stuff when it was happening. I learned about it, later when I was older, um but all this stuff with Jack Smith, they asked him some really interesting questions that he could not answer, as to why he did certain things the way he did them and what
Yep.
he was doing and the tactics he was using. And even long after he was um technically relieved of his duties or relieved of his job, he was still signing documents as special counsel or whatever his official title was. I forget the exact title, but special counsel, yeah, special
Yep.
counsel Jack Smith. um I mean, that guy, in my opinion, needs to face some consequences based on everything that we know, and this is just what we do know. The Mar-a-Lago raid.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just unbelievable what the left has been doing,
And I hate doing it.
you
I hate
know?
saying Biden too into that because I don't want to fall into that. But I mean,
Yeah.
Biden did it too. You open up his
Yep.
garage and he had
Yeah.
classified documents in an unlocked garage
Yeah. By his
with his
Corvette.
Corvette. Yeah,
Yeah.
with his Corvette.
Yeah.
So it's no president is perfect. Unfortunately,
No.
it's things going
But
on now. I want to see a good candidate. So
yeah.
here's the thing: this next election cycle, I think that Vance is going to run, but I
Hmm.
also like, and I do want to see a good Democrat run against him, a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
But where are they?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Democrats are in shambles. Um, and did you see? Well, hold on. So I want to talk about Adam Schiff. So
Yep.
don't let me forget about that one. But then, did you see the thing with the Mar-a-Lago thing though is, I mean, number one, Trump Trump could take whatever he wanted. Let's
Yep.
face it, because he could declassify documents with the wave of his hand. He could literally walk into a room of boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of documents, right?
Yep.
Stacked from floor to ceiling, and wave his hand and say, "I declassify all these documents right now. Everything that's in this room is officially declassified." Now, here's the problem. The people that actually do the legwork of declassifying the documents have to actually do it,
Yep.
right? And I don't think they did in every situation. So they didn't obey his orders. They didn't say, "Okay, Mr. President, we will take the time and make sure every single document, every single box is labeled, declassified by your order,"
Yep.
because a lot of them were working against him. A lot of them were still bad people from holdovers from Obama. The people that actually did that work, they.
It's still I find it funny that Donald Trump was friends with all these people, and you just got a huge super chat there,
Oh,
buddy.
I sure did. Whoa, look at that. Let's take a look at that. Orbowitz, thank you. It's not unbelievable for leftists. My grandparents are survivors of the Holodomor.
Holdemore.
What's that?
Holodomor leftists that want to kill you and destroy your beliefs in your homes. You'll have to also the Bolsheviks did the same thing in the
Yep.
Ukrainians. Okay, so you'll
All
have to get
right.
a little bit more context. Obviously, it's not something that either Weston or I know, but
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
super awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That means a lot. That puts us over. That puts us over for the month. So
Very
that's
cool.
huge. Yeah, that's very cool. So, anyways, my point is he had every right to take what he took. Obama did the same thing. Clinton did the same thing. Clinton had stuff in his sock drawer. And the judge ruled that he could take what he wants. He's the
Yep.
president. And that legal precedent should apply to Trump. And then they were in negotiations with the archives. They were talking to him. That they were saying, "Hey, tell us what you want back. Let's talk, and we'll work it out. We'll work out something." He
Yep.
wasn't saying, "F you. I'm not giving anything back. Forget you. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm keeping everything no matter what." He said, "Yeah, let's. My lawyers will be in touch with your lawyers. We'll work it out. There's no problem here. Whatever you think you need to have back, we'll talk about it. We'll work it out." You know, and they still raided his house, and they even came in and inspected everything.
Yep.
And
For
they
sure.
walked in. They walked into Trump's meeting in his conference room or whatever in Mar-a-Lago, and he goes, "Hey, glad you guys are here. Welcome. Whatever you guys need, let us know. Check it all out. Look it all over. Let me know what you want us to do differently." And they said, "Yeah, just put another lock on the door. You're fine." And they left. And then they still raided his house. So I still contend to this day, okay, that and I think this will all come out eventually, that they were looking for something that Trump had that incriminated somebody, either Hillary or somebody. Comey, James
I mean,
Comey,
Bill.
Hillary.
I thought you were gonna say Bill because Bill did it to himself.
Yeah,
That's all it
yeah,
says. Bill just did it to
yeah,
himself.
yeah. No, yeah. And you know what? It's going to be interesting to see what happens to Bill and Hillary because
I mean,
they're
avoiding a subpoena is
they're in contempt of
something.
Congress now, right?
They are in contempt. Well, I don't know if they're going to formally do that, which they should, because at a certain point when you receive a subpoena from the U.S. Congress, like that
Yeah,
should not be ignored.
taken lightly. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's not. It's not optional. That's not designed to be optional. You know.
no, it's like if you or I ignored going a subpoena to something, and like
Yeah.
we would be arrested
We'd
for
be in
that.
trouble. Yeah, it's a bench warrant for your arrest, you know?
Yep.
Um, and
And
so
William said, "God bless you all. Jesus saves, and Jesus is King of Kings."
amen.
Absolutely,
I agree.
amen.
Amen. We're with you. We're in total agreement on that one. By
Absolutely.
the way, the King Trump had a satire. I do this for fun, just to trigger the lefties. There's always been kings in the world. There's always been kings, whether literal or figurative, right? In our world throughout history. And just because there's one king doesn't mean Jesus isn't the king of all kings, right?
Correct.
So Jesus is the king of all kings. So whether you think Trump's a king or not, some people say he is, some people say he isn't, right? It be that as it may, that's neither here nor there, right? The truth is Jesus is the king of kings. And the scriptures tell us that someday, one day, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus is Lord. So,
And he ain't coming back in sunshine. You got to remember that
no,
he's coming back
no,
on the back of a war horse, wielding a flaming sword.
that's right.
So that's how it is. And most
That's
people
right.
think it's all happiness and whatever else, but it's going to be a happy day for those that are written in the book of life. But at the end
That's
of the
right.
time, he is coming back wielding a sword. He's
Amen.
going to take back absolutely everything.
Yep. 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 And he will make everything right. That's the comforting thing about it is when you look at all the injustices in the world, you look
Yep.
at all the things that are so unjust and so not right and so like, and you just want to cry sometimes. You want to get angry. You want to do something about it. Um and God says, "Vengeance is mine," says the Lord. And
Yep.
and he will make everything right. He will make
And then
everything right.
somebody said here, how can one participate in a live debate here? It's not a debate. It's two friends
No,
that are having a conversation. So
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
that's what this is. And again, what it says above my hand is sic transit gloria mundi, which literally translates thus passes the glory of the world. So
yeah,
what we do and being so egocentral on everything that we do, but at the end we should be moving towards the other thing. We're
yep,
here, like praise Jesus.
yep. Amen. Amen. And then where was I going with the Mar-a-Lago stuff? The point I was trying to get at was what Jack Smith did and Garland, who authorized the raid, and ultimately I believe Biden did too, even though he'll never admit it. Um, they staged that paperwork for those photos. And to me, that was very egregious. I mean, the raid itself was egregious because it violated the Fourth Amendment.
Well, they
Because,
weaponize the justice system.
yeah,
At the end
exactly.
of the day, they weaponize the justice system against him.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Yep.
they'll say that they didn't, but they did. And again, this
Yep.
is coming from somebody that's not 100% a Trump supporter, but you
Yep.
see it when the writing's on the wall, you can see it.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. That's right. Um, so anyways, there's just a lot of stuff that is sad and, you know, just horrible. I mean, when I think about Ashley Babbitt,
Oh, yeah.
how she was unarmed, she wasn't a threat to anybody.
No,
And I call that an execution. They're
it
trying.
was. And you look at it both ways, and I'm not trying to cut you off, but you look at
No,
it both
no,
ways. Yes, she was in a place that she wasn't supposed to be. It's the
right.
same whole system. Like, it shouldn't happen that way. Nobody
No,
deserves to die like that.
no, no.
No.
But and I guess she was breaking windows or something, but the thing is, and this is what I don't understand, okay? And if anybody can, explain this to me, I'm all ears, okay?
Yep.
The Capitol building is literally the people's house. Like
It is.
we vote for people, we send people there. They represent us and they're supposed to be doing our work. They're supposed to be working on our behalf.
Absolutely.
And if we as the citizens, I mean, we the people who send these politicians to represent us and do our work on our behalf, if we're not allowed to walk into that building, I don't get it. Why not? That's our building. Our taxpayer dollars fund that thing. Those people are working for us. Why isn't any US citizen allowed to walk in there anytime they want? Now I
That's a
get
good
it.
question.
I get it. Like you should probably go through a metal detector and all, and there's proper ways to do things and stuff. And I've been in that building and I have walked through the metal detectors and done it properly. But the thing is, the Capitol Police were holding the doors open for people
I did
to
see
walk
that
in.
when they started removing the barriers and opening the
Yeah,
doors and basically were like, come on in.
yeah. And I
Yep.
think that was, I mean, the only thing I can figure out is they were entrapping those people by design. Somebody told
Could be.
them to do that. And they knew that if they invited those people in, that then they could charge them with the crime, which to me doesn't make sense because why can't any US citizen walk into that building, especially if the door's open for them and
Yep.
they're welcomed inside by the Capitol Police? Why is that a crime? And I know there are J6ers who were in that building for like 30 seconds and thought better of it and goes, maybe, I don't
And
feel
they
good
still
about
got in
this.
trouble for it. So you
Right.
gotta do have a good comment here. So Adamant 69696, he
Yeah.
said follow the law, it's simple. And then he followed that up with crowd mentality, dangerous situations. That's
Okay.
what's going on in both worlds. It is crowd mentality. You get a bunch
Yeah.
of people together and
Yeah.
it's gonna be mob rule. That's
Right.
what happens. And it doesn't take
Right.
much to spark that, and everybody sees it and they think,
Right.
hey, maybe this is a good idea to follow along. And most of the
Yeah.
time it's not.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
But again, follow the law. Well, what's the law? I mean,
And that's true. I
that's
don't
what I
know.
don't.
I've
And
never been
that's
to
it.
DC, so I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. So that's the only point I'm trying to make is, I've been to DC many times and I've been in that building and I don't understand why someone can't walk in, especially if they're invited by the Capitol Police and the door's open
That's
for them.
true.
They're holding the
Yep.
door open for them and they walk in. I don't see how that's a crime. So, and it definitely shouldn't be trespassing. How can you trespass on your own property? That's our property, right?
Yeah, it is our
We
tax dollars. It
so
is a federal building.
so that part I don't understand. If anybody can explain it, that'd be great. But I'm just glad that Trump pardoned those people because those you talk about due process, they were not given due process.
Yep.
And
But
that was
Adam,
sick.
he's got good points, man. I'm watching him fly
Good.
through, and
Yeah.
the law is abiding the Constitution our forefathers set. You got to think that those people got together under the fear of death, and they put
Yeah.
together a document that it was supposed to uh, carry something new. We built something new here,
Yep.
is what was happening, and now we're almost 250 years, and look at the shape we're in 250 years after.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And like you've always said, Cowboy, our founding fathers would be rolling over in their grave right now.
They would be.
They would not even recognize this country. I mean, can you imagine if they came back to DC and walked around or walked around any one of our major cities? You imagine if they were in Minneapolis. Can you imagine if George Washington or Benjamin
Here's the thing, it
Franklin?
was a different time for them, and the thing is I think that at this point Washington would probably be stacking bodies, but it
Yeah.
was a different time. It was a
Yeah.
straight different time, and what Adam said, yes, he was a warrior. He
Yeah.
didn't even want to be president. He
No.
was a general, and he was very young, and he ran the war, what was going on,
Hmm.
and without him and his leadership, hell, we
Yeah.
crossed a river in the middle of the wintertime in
Yeah.
Christmas just to kill our enemies.
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
right.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah. And we gotta remember that stuff. We gotta study that stuff. The stuff that those guys went through. I mean, they were walking barefoot in the snow,
Yep.
marching barefoot in the snow, crossing that Delaware in the fog. The Lord brought the fog, and they escaped. Sure death. The war would have been over if that
Oh
fog
yeah.
had not come when it did and hid them when they escaped because they were completely trapped. They were completely trapped by the British, and the war would have been over, and we would be talking with British accents right now.
We'd either
I
be
mean,
talking
it's
in German, French, or
yeah,
in English accents.
yeah.
It's amazing. So if you really look at it, and this kind of going off topic, but
No, this is
you
fine. This
look
is
at
good.
you look at everything that's happened all the way up to today. The
Yep,
amazing things that have happened, and you have people out there that argue the existence of God.
yep,
Look at everything. Look at
yep,
what we've created. Look at what we've built and have come together and done.
yep, yep.
Like, it is what it is. So it's just amazing on all the little things that have come together to bring
Yep.
us where we are today.
Yeah, and it's I attribute it to something that our founding fathers really strongly believed in, something called divine providence.
Yep.
Divine providence. They believed in
In
that.
God we trust. It's on all of our money. It's on our
Yeah.
seal. It's in
Yep.
God we trust.
Yep. So we need to pray for our country. We need to pray for Minneapolis. We need to pray for our leaders. We need to pray for Walls and Fry, even though I can't stand those people.
Well,
Jesus.
pray for your enemies. You
Yeah, pray
you
for our enemies is what
at
he
the end of
taught
the day,
us.
you don't have to agree with everybody. You pray for your enemies.
That's right. That's right. So we're praying for Walls and Fry and Ellison and Flanagan. I mean, one of the things we haven't talked about, maybe we can end with this one, Cowboy, is this signal thing, that signal
I was just
chat thing.
actually thinking the same thing you were. Are you
Yeah.
talking about the assassination thing that we were reading?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's not what we need. But yeah,
No.
it's we can definitely go ahead and lead, and I'll comment when I need to.
Yeah. So I mean, it's coming out, and there was this guy named Cam Higby.
Yep.
I don't know much about him. I think he's just an influencer online, and but he somehow infiltrated this Signal app that all of the ice watch Antifa people um, are on, and they're using it, and it's so unbelievably sophisticated that you have to say to yourself, this isn't just like minivan moms, justice warrior, white liberal
Wasn't
moms.
Signal created by the same guy that did Twitter? I can't
I
remember. It
don't
was
know.
something goofy.
I don't
But
know. I
yeah,
know
it's
it's
secure
it's
communications. But
yeah,
here's the
it's
fun fact
encrypted.
lesson.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't think the
encrypted.
government has access to what they're doing?
Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, who was it? One of um one of Trump's cabinet members, Mike, forget his last name, got in trouble for using it unsecurely or something. He got in a little bit of trouble because he was using it. And
Was that Heesgrat, or however you say his name, the guy from Minnesota that runs the Department of War?
no,
Was it
not
him?
Hegseth. It was
No.
Hegseth, one of Hegseth's guys, though. Um,
Yeah, because I remember something about that where they were using it and they were like, "That's wrong." You know, it's
yeah, something went wrong with it. So it's the same app, and I don't know. I'm looking it up right now to see who developed it and stuff. But it's a free open source messaging app built for private communication, end to end encryption, so on. So, anyways, this Cam Higby infiltrated the Signal channel that all these people have been using, and they have it so well organized. They have people in every neighborhood in Minneapolis. They have it divided
oh,
up so that there's a captain for each neighborhood or each sector of Minneapolis. So if they see an ICE agent, they let the whole chat know, and then everybody gets informed. And then they have different roles. They have people that are looking up license plates. They have people that are checking, different things, and then apparently, from what I've heard, they're also pulling people over, which is part of this training that they've been, teaching everybody, that they're pulling cars over like as though they're police. They're acting
really?
as police, pulling civilians over and asking for their papers to find out if they're ICE or if they're supportive of ICE in any way. I mean, this is crazy stuff. This is like seriously terrorism, domestic terrorism stuff, and it's
Yeah,
obviously
I wouldn't be stopped on my way. Let's just put it that way. I've been
yeah,
involved in the security world. I've been involved
yeah,
in intelligence and everything
yeah,
else. Like,
yeah,
no, that is the
yeah,
wrong way to go about things.
yeah, and you can get in big trouble for impersonating a police
You
officer and
can,
doing
you absolutely
stuff
can.
like this. Yeah. So this has all just come out today, this morning. Cam Higby, he actually, posted a video of the actual screen showing all the names, and there's a lot of people that are in that Signal app that are using their real names. So people's identities are being revealed, that are part of this, and it's going to get interesting because I don't know how now that it's been now that it's been hacked or infiltrated, and it's going to get turned
Well,
over
here's the
to
thing.
the
Yeah, and it
FBI. And
wasn't it a YouTuber or somebody that did all this? But here's the
yeah,
thing: is infiltrating these groups now they're going to question everybody, and the whole system's going to fall apart because they won't
yeah,
trust each other.
yeah, exactly. I
No.
mean, they're already paranoid to start with,
Oh
and
yeah.
now they're really going to be paranoid. But yeah, this Cam Higby guy, um, he he's a commentator, journalist, social media personality, known for posting commentating videos. Um, and in late January of 2026, which is today,
Yep.
he published a thread on X claiming that he had infiltrated organizational signal groups in the Minneapolis area that were allegedly used to coordinate opposition to federal immigration enforcement, including ICE. According to his posts, he said there were multiple signal group chats for different zones of the city with hundreds of members. So basically, what I was just
Wow.
saying, he described roles in the groups like patrol, verification, and dispatch. So people had very specific roles. Allegedly, they shared information about federal agents' movements, and he claimed these groups were being deleted daily and rebuilt to avoid detection.
Wow.
So it's going to get very, and the FBI is already investigating. They've already announced that they're investigating this. Um, so it's going to get really interesting, and it's alleged, it's not confirmed, but it is alleged that Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan is one of
I
the
did see this.
admins. Yeah.
And she was
So,
Walls's campaign strategy
yeah.
manager, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. And
that's and if that's the case,
she's
that if she gets caught doing that, it's going to hold them complicit too, because look who she works for.
I know.
Look what the
I know.
information she has access to.
Exactly. And I don't know
Yep.
if you saw, I'm pretty sure it's her. She's the one that had the t-shirt that said protect trans or something, and it had a knife
Did that?
on the
I
shirt.
guess I don't remember that.
And you should have to you'll look that up. Look that one up.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah, I'll take a peek at it.
So she's a radical. She's a radical extremist leftist, and she's Wall's right hand woman.
Amazing.
So what does that tell you?
Again, it's like everything else. It's all smoke and mirrors most of the time, and you know this.
Yeah.
Look at everything going on. It's the distraction. They're telling you to look over here while we're doing something
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
And some people
Exactly.
may think it's the Epstein files. Others believe that they're doing this on purpose to try to blow smoke away from the Somali Gate incident,
Yep.
which that is my term, Somali Gate. There you
Yep.
go. That's
Yep.
gonna
You
be that
coined
one
the
right there.
phrase, man. You coined the phrase. I'll always
Somali
credit
Gate.
you for that one. That one's
Oh
good.
yeah. So I am not a crook. I'm just a knucklehead.
Hey, you know what, Cowboy? You're a big shot.
I try. I definitely try. So no, they're far from a big shot. I'm good.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
I'm just a guy with an opinion, man. That's
Yeah.
that's all it is.
Exactly.
And you
Exactly.
may everybody here might find that I'm wrong or right or agree with me or disagree, but at the end of the
Yep.
day, it's I'm here with my own opinion,
Yeah.
using my voice, which is outlined in the Constitution of the United States, and
Yep.
so on and so forth.
Yep.
So
Exactly. And that's the beauty of the country that our founding fathers created for us, that we've inherited, is we have the ability to go on a crazy platform like YouTube and just have a conversation and share our opinions. What a beautiful thing.
it is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. And I love
So
it. I love that we can do
they
this
couldn't
freely.
imagine this.
They
They
can't do
they
this. They can't do this in Iran.
no,
They
not
can't do
yet,
this in
not
China.
yet.
No, not yet. Yeah.
Well, China needs a they need a revolution.
Yeah,
It's
they
they already
do.
had one that was awful, but it went the wrong
Yeah.
way. But
Yeah.
that's neither here nor
Yeah,
there.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Um, well, we should probably wrap
And
this up. It's
Benjamin,
getting late, but
yeah, it's been an hour and a half, but Benjamin made
yeah.
a good comment there. Why can't we find a common ground to understand each other? And I think
Oh,
that's
that's a
what
great
Wes and I
comment.
are doing. And
That's a
again,
great
we're not
comment.
going to agree 100%. Doesn't mean I don't disrespect or, I like Weston. He's a good dude. But we may not agree 100% on everything, but that's the glory of everything we do.
Yeah,
Like, that,
exactly.
in my opinion, that's why I do this. That's why I jump on here. I don't get
Yep,
paid to do this. I just come on and I share my opinion. You guys
exactly.
call me whatever, and it is what it is.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think this is really productive. I think it's really helpful. And if you agree, let us know because we want to keep doing this. We're going to do it again Wednesday night, same time, same bat channel, same bat time. And here's the thing: if you're like me and you're tired of this right here, this fake news was indeed fake news. If you're tired of the fake news, we don't want fake news. We don't want fake news. Then you found the right channel. That's why we're here. That's why we do this. That's why we talk. And that's the beauty of what we do. And it's just a conversation. And Cowboy and I, we just talk and
Yep.
hash things out. And you can either agree or disagree. No problem. It's
That's
awesome.
exactly it. So,
Yeah.
so hold on. What was this comment here? Because so and that's so Neo there left a comment that was pretty decent. So because we
Okay.
gave the left a chance, and the person that wanted to come to the table the most was Charlie Kirk, was
Mhm.
murdered for his attempt to extend an olive branch,
Yep.
and that's very true.
That's
And
so true. So true. I
that you
agree with
want
that.
to, the funny thing about that is through silencing a voice like that, do you know what that falls under? Fascism.
Yep.
So there you
Exactly.
go. That's at the
Exactly.
end of the day is these fascist tactics to try and
Yep.
shut our speech down. That's
Yep.
fascism.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
And I want to let's see. They all go. Here we go. Want to recommend a couple books before we go.
Yeah.
Speaking of fascism and speaking of the Chinese Revolution, this book is incredible. I know it's backwards. Everything's backwards. I'm low tech and proud of it. But this is called Unhumans. It's written by Jack Posobiec. One of these days, I'm going to send you a copy of this, Cowboy, so you have it
I'll read it.
because
Yep.
you will be blown away by this. He talks about all the different communist revolutions, including the French Revolution, which was really the first communist revolution, the
Yep.
Spanish Civil War, the Russian Revolution, the Chinese Revolution, And he really outlines it well. And I highly recommend this guy. Check out his podcast, his show, all the stuff that he does. He's an incredible guy. He's the guy that was at Charlie Kirk's memorial,
Yep.
and he gets up there, and the first thing he said was, "Christ is King." So that's Jack Posobiec. I highly recommend him and his work. And then another interesting book that I want to mention is called Unmasked. And this guy's name is Andy No. He's the leading expert of Antifa. He was almost killed by Antifa in Portland. Um, I believe he's Korean. Um, and he outlines exactly what Antifa is all about, what their history is, how they started, what they really believe, and it's very eye opening. And I highly recommend it if you want to educate yourself about this supposedly Antifa is just an idea; they're not a real group.
That's what I
Um,
keep hearing.
yeah, but it's not true. So, anyways, couple books that I wanted to recommend. And of course, I can't leave without recommending my book, which is Make the Rainbow Great Again. You can get this on Amazon. Wrote it myself. It's the first book that I wrote that has words. All my other ones don't have words by design because
That's
they're
always my
just for
favorite thing
fun.
when you bring that book up, and it's because like 90% of people don't understand what the true meaning of the rainbow actually is.
Yeah, exactly. No, they don't. They really don't. And I'm working on another book right now. I'm giving some hints about it on Substack. If you follow me on Substack or X, I'm also on Rumble and Spotify. But if you follow me on Substack, you'll see a lot of articles that I write that are kind of hints about my next book, which is called The Fall of Rome. And it's about basically how civilizations fall and how, unfortunately, we're going down the same road right now. And it's very, very scary. Very, very scary.
There are definitely triggers out there that are happening that it's not full on yet, but if things keep going the way they are, you're going to start seeing more and more mistrust amongst everybody,
Yeah.
and just getting nasty, and we don't need that.
We don't need that. No, no. Anyways, it's been great hanging out with you tonight, Cowboy, and it's been
Absolutely.
great hanging out with all the supporters, all the people full of love, and all the people full of hate as well. It's been
Well,
great
that's
being with
exactly
you
it.
all.
If you guys got anything out of this conversation, which is what it was, we talk about the news. We don't report the news here.
Yep.
Drop a like. It helps us
Yeah,
all. My channel's linked
exactly.
too. Drop a like on that. We have these
Absolutely.
conversations because they're important.
Yep, absolutely. And for those of you who are part of the gold standard, my fans and friends, make sure you check out Cowboy's channel. Always interesting, and as you can see, he's a great guy. You can just feel it. He's just real and genuine, and he's the real deal. What you see is what you get. It's what I love about him. So check him out on his channel, and we'll be doing this again Wednesday night, and it's
Absolutely.
going to be great to be back. If you like this sort of thing, support us, encourage us. You know how to do that, and just let us know that you want us to keep doing this. That's what's important, right?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, that's what's important. We bring everything together. And I
Yep.
end it on the same note every time is whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen, brother. Whatever you do in word and deed, do it all for the glory of God. That's what
Amen.
life's all about. And Charlie Kirk loved to say he had a great he had a great quote. Let's see if I can remember it. He said, "If what you want out of life is just um, serving yourself," I'm paraphrasing, serving yourself and being selfish and doing what you want to do with your life,
Yep.
you will end up miserable. But
Absolutely.
if you find a way to serve something bigger than yourself and make a difference in this world, you will end up purposeful. And
Absolutely.
that's what you're getting at with that scripture. Do all for
So
the glory of God. If you do everything
absolutely.
for the glory of God, you will end up purposeful. You will have purpose and mission and a sense of true making a difference in your life. And I know a lot of people right now that are really struggling with that. I know a lot of people personally that they have all the money they need, they have, everything they want in life. They're lacking absolutely nothing, and yet they are completely miserable. You know why? Because they feel deep in their heart there's a void in their heart and in their soul, and there's a lack of mission and purpose and making a difference. And we were designed as human beings for mission, for making a
Yep.
difference, for a purpose. And until you find that, what your purpose is, that is only between you and God, until you find that, you will be miserable.
Absolutely. And that's where all the hate comes from. They're just miserable.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
And they
Mhm.
somebody made a comment. I don't remember who it was, but they said something. This is like shows the education level in a red state. The funny thing is, isn't the state of Minnesota like ranked some of the highest education in the country?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're
And
from Minnesota,
yeah.
so it's pretty
Yeah.
blue state.
Yeah. We're both from blue states, so
Yeah.
there you go. We're not in the
Don't you
deep
know?
we're not in the deep south in, Alabama or somewhere like that. So yeah, I know. People are so funny. But hey, I love you, Cowboy. Thanks for being on the show tonight. I always
Absolutely.
appreciate your input, your thoughts, your perspective, and it's just great. We just have a great thing going here, and I'm really glad that we found each
Oh,
other.
and I kind of feel
And
bad now that I called that guy out and he said that I'm sorry and I hope things improve in your
oh,
area. Thank
oh,
you. So I
oh,
will
that's
say
cool.
that thank you that you hope that we improve.
That's
So
cool.
we all hope that. That's what we all pray for.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So
we'll be
lesson,
back
yes, Wednesday will be great.
We'll be back Wednesday. Make sure you look for us Wednesday night, same time. And yeah, hope everybody gets some good sleep tonight and get some rest and stay bold, stay gold.
Have a good night, Weston.
All right, buddy. We'll see you later.
See you later, man.
God bless you all.